it is important for you to see the photographs. And yes, dear President Nobel Boykin, dear Vice President Erika Bragg, and dear descendants of the Salzburgers and all the guests here today for the Heritage Day, it's a great honor for me and my husband to attend this meeting for the first time and to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. My name is Friederike Lippold. I was often asked how this name is pronounced in German, so it would be Friederike. I know it's a kind of difficult, and I myself have some problems to find the right spelling or the right pronunciation in English. Friederike is often like, so I call myself Frida. If you like to talk to me today, then just call me Frida, and that will be fine. I'm working in the Francke Foundations in Halle. We came here from Germany, and it is something I would like to do with you today. It's ready for update. I would like to do it with you today while our friends are dealing with the technique. Thank you very much. I would like to take you to a short, to a journey, let's say. It's not a short journey. It wasn't a short journey in the 18th century, and it isn't a short journey today. I would like to take you to a journey to the Francke Foundations in Halle, and why I'm doing it. Because in the 18th centuries, the pastors we were speaking about, Boltius as the first pastor, came from Halle, and they came together with the first settlers, with the Salzburger immigrants here. So forget about the 10 hours flight to Halle, or if you have taken the sea voyage, in that time it would have taken several weeks to travel from Europe to America, to North America then in that time. Forget about that, sit comfortably in your seats, and I will show you some slides about the Francke Foundations today. So if you would come and visit us today, for instance, and if you would come in June, then you would have attended something which would remind you of the Heritage Day here, which I have seen in the morning. I had the opportunity to have a walk around and to see some of the offers for today's event. So we have something, we call it Linden Blossom Festival. It's when the linden trees are blooming. And then we are having lots of people there, more than 10 to 15,000 people coming and enjoying an event with many, like here, hands-on activities, with some special offers, with 2 scenes, with programs, with reenactments, historical reenactments, and it's all about remembering the history and bringing the history alive today. And history in the Francke Foundations, I'm not sure if someone of you have had the possibility, could choose the opportunity to go to Germany, has seen the Francke Foundations perhaps, some of the, yeah, that's great. So I can tell you something about the history. It's the 18th, or it's the end of the 17th century. It's 1698, so we are going back 30 years again in history. 1698, and a Lutheran pastor, August Hermann Francke, came to Halle as a pastor, and he saw the need that families and children would need help, and his idea was to enable them to become a member of the society and to act in the society for common good. That was his goal. So he wanted to change the world and to make it a little better. And so there you can see, this is something, even if you have been in Halle, you wouldn't have seen that. It's from the bird's eye view. This is the historic part, or a part of the historic part of the Francke Foundations in the 18th century. So you see in the center the main building, which is the orphanage, and then the buildings coming from the main building are built around a square place. And there we have several enterprises, like a printing house, and also the silk production has taken place there. We have schools for children, for boys and for girls there in that time. We have places for people who would visit the Francke foundations or work with the foundations. We have places for the teachers there. So Francke has built a kind of a whole city there. Today it's in the city center of Halle, and in that time it was outside the city. So you see the buildings around, but in that time there was lots of greenery and gardens around where the children would work and also be educated. And based on this history of what August Hermann Francke has done in the 18th century, we call ourselves an educational cosmos. So we are inviting institutions to cooperate with us and to give education, as well as in the 18th century, to children, to families, often nowadays also to immigrants, to everyone who is in need or who would like to educate himself. So on our premises in the Francke Foundations, if you come there, you will find 3 kindergartens, 4 schools, so you can, from the first grade to the high school, you can join the schools there. You find parts of the Halle University. You can find a family center, you can find a youth club, you can find also places for children where they could come after school and are received. So this is part of our social work we are doing today, but also we have seen this today with the nice book which was presented. We have a very strong scientific department also in the Francke Foundations, based on the collections in the archives and in the historic library, and also in the cabinet we have a collection from the 18th century which was dedicated for the education. It's called the Cabinet of Artifacts and Natural Curiosities, where we have lots of objects from all over the world. And then the third part, or the third department, an important department of the Francke Foundations today, is the cultural events. So we are inviting people to come to the foundations, to take place, to visit the exhibition, to enjoy the events we are doing, like we have seen the Linden Blossom Festival. So there are lots of activities in the foundations today. More than 4,000 people are there every day, today again. And this is a kind of bringing history alive, when in that time more than 2,000 people, which is a large number for the 18th century, learned in the schools of August Hermann Francke in that time. Erika was asking me especially, and she said, add some photographs about the 1990s. So part of our history is, and this is a very important part, and this is what happens when you don't take care of history. It is the 1990s, and you know Germany was divided between the eastern part and the western, the socialist part, and we call it West Germany, die Bundesrepublik. So Halle was situated in the socialist part of Germany, and the government didn't care very much about religion, and it was also difficult for them to maintain all the historic buildings in this part. So they built their own history and there. So this was the situations of the Francke Foundations in the 1990s, and I show you only two of the photographs. We have very lots of them. So the roofs were leaking. There were no windows. It was the buildings were in a very poor condition. The wood construction was damaged. So everyone who came there said it makes no sense. You cannot do anything. That they just burn it all down and build it anew. And then there was the director, Paul Rabe, and then again Thomas Müller-Balke, who has been here several times, and they took the task and they say, no, we want to save this, but this is a very special place, and we have to save the history, and we have to do something. So a huge movement started then, and lots of people, private people, foundations, also the government, the German government, or the government of the state, Saxony-Anhalt, supported the rescue action of the Francke Foundations. And so today, the last year, we were celebrating 30 years after the 1990s, or 1993, of the rescue of the Francke Foundation. So the buildings are safe today, thanks to the help of many, many people. what we are doing is similar, of course, to what the Georgia Salzburger Society is doing. We are trying to find ways how to deal with the history and how to bring history to life, how to help people to remember the history. So we collect, for instance, oral history of these 1990s, because people now who lived in the 1990s and who have seen the situation of the Francke Foundations, they are more and more leaving us, and their memories and their photographs and their stories are leaving us. So we are asking them to collect this, to send it to us. And we have prepared an application online. So you can go to the application and you can find some places, now it's 5 places I think in the Francke Foundations, where you can see the historic photographs, and you can take, if you are there or if you are any other place too, but if you are there, you can take the photographs in the right angle, in the right place. And so it shows you here the Francke monument, for instance, in how it is today, and then you see the photograph from the 1990s before the restoration. And this is a very special photograph because it shows the great support of Hans-Dietrich Genscher. He was the foreign minister of Germany, and he brought Mikhail Gorbachev and Henry Kissinger to Halle to help to support the restoration and the rescue action of the Francke Foundations. And you see on the left-hand side of this photograph, you see the current director, Professor Müller-Barke, and with the help of this augmented reality, you can step into the history. And although he wasn't there at that time in the 1990s when the photograph was taking place, so he can step in the photograph now and become a part of the history. So this is one of the things we are doing and trying to attract also people and younger people to use the historic material we have. Since this is a photograph from, or a detail from the Cabinet of Artifacts and Natural Curiosities, it's a model of a ship. The people from the Halle Foundations, for the Francke Foundations, were traveling in the 18th century. They were traveling like missionaries, the first Lutheran missionaries to South India. They were traveling as the pastors with the Salzburger immigrants to North America. They were traveling also by land, often up to Siberia, to Russia and Europe, and to different European places, to Denmark, to Great Britain, Sweden. There are lots of places on the map that the Halle Pietists have been and have successfully created something like a network of the Halle Pietism based on the model in Halle. So my idea was, since I'm traveling around the world, I have been in Russia before the war in the Ukraine has started. I'm regularly in South Poland in a congregation related with, in a Lutheran congregation related with our history. I've been to Great Britain, I've been to Sweden, and it's the first time I'm now here in North America. And I was thinking of, we should do something like an online travel guide about where, how we are linked all together. Why this our history which began in Halle and spread it out all over the world, and now we are here gathering because these people then took the task and went to North America and decided to stay here and build the United States. So Bolzius is one of them, and then you may have heard of the Muhlenberg family. Muhlenberg was also one of the pastors sent from Halle, and then Frederick Augustus Muhlenberg is quite, as well as his brother Peter Gabriel, they are quite famous in the young American history. What we are doing to also, and I thought this could be something we could also think of, how we can develop the project or the things we are cooperating. We have this, we call it the Children's Creativity Center. So children are invited after school to come to spend their time in the afternoons with us. And these are sometimes children really in need, and in need of food and in need of help to do the homework, for instance, also. So we have a special equipped kitchen there, and we are cooking regularly with them. There is also something like a garden on our premises, so the children can go there and can grow their own vegetables, and then they can harvest them, and then they can go to the kitchen and can cook something. So they learn something about healthy food, about how to prepare healthy food. And it is also something, I think, which would be very interesting. When I came here, I've always read about the famous South American cuisine, and then I thought it would be good to share some of the recipes. Some recipes, I guess you have some from the Salzburgers from that time, some traditional recipes. So we have some. Then there are things which children would like, so they like today very much to eat. So it could be a nice experience also from time to time just to meet. And we can easily meet online since the COVID pandemic. Even us Germans are able to use this technique. We could just meet online and cook together and make it a small and perhaps regularly event too. This is something I've experienced. I've been to South India last year in January 2024 the first time. South India is a very special place for us too, as well as North America, as the Salzburger and New Ebenezer here. In South India, the Lutheran pastors in 1706 built the first Lutheran mission, and they were asked by the Danish king, and then they were sent to South India, and they brought the Lutheran church there. So today we are cooperating with the Tamil Lutheran Church in South India. In this place, the place of the first Lutheran mission, in the building in the house of the first Lutheran missionary, Bartholomew Ziegenbalg, who is something like Jan Martin Bolzius for the Indian people. We have created, or Professor Müller-Barke has created some years ago, a museum about intercultural dialogue. And in 2019, before the COVID pandemic, we have sent 2 artists from the Halle Art College to work in South India and to create something while they stayed there during a month. And the artworks we have presented, we were able to present last year again back in Tarangambadi in the museum. We have presented it in Halle, in the Halle orphanage, in our exhibition space, and then we were able, very thankful for this opportunity to show it also in South India. And the people are coming there, the children. There are many schools in this area based on the history of the 18th century too. The people are coming from all over India, because for them, and it doesn't depend on the religion, for them it's the beginning of the printing history in India at all. So people they learn it in school. And so they come there to visit the museum, and they were visiting these art exhibition, and they liked it very much. So this is also one of the possibilities to attract or to bring younger people, to give them an opportunity to work with our history if they are not inclined to work in the archives and read, for instance, the sources. One of the projects I would very much like to bring to life in 2027, which is the anniversary of the 300th death of August Hermann Francke. I would very much like to invite young people from the United States here, from Georgia, young people, for instance, from South Poland, from Silesia, from the Lutheran congregation there in Teschen, and also from Germany. And I would like to bring them together in a kind of a summer school. So they would spend some, let's say, 10 days together, and they could work with the sources. And you see it here on the left, on the right hand side, there are young people. We have programs with pupils in this is the historic library, as well in the archives. So of course we know it is difficult to read the historic sources, and it's a great work of Erika and Jürgen Greschel and Professor Cleckley to bring these editions to life. But there are always documents which are available for the children, and they like very much to work with it. So we were thinking of something like The Pursuit of Happiness, because it's linked to the American history again, and to bring these young people together and to let them think about what would be important for them in the future, what is for them happiness, what does that mean. And we would like to include all of the things I have shown you. So we could do cooking workshops, we can work in the historic collections itself. We have many hand-on activities, as you see below, in a special place, creative place we have opened last year. So we would like to spend some time together and to think about and to discuss what is important for them in the future. And this is also something I hope it gives us an opportunity to work with the history, to interest the young people to work with the history, but also to give them a voice and to talk about what is interesting for them today. When I've seen the nice quilts yesterday, and we are still thinking how we can bring the quilts and the cushions in the luggage to Germany, because they are so nice. We have a sewing workshop, for instance, also in one of our creative parts of or events of the Crocosseum. And I was thinking of if we could find something like a farewell pattern for August Hermann Francke's death in 2027. So I guess this is also something we could share online, because quilting is something very important here in this region, and it's an important tradition. And there are people in Germany doing this. I think, I'm not sure if it is the same, we call it patchwork, in the nice German word patchwork. I guess there may be a difference between patchwork and quilting. I'm not aware of that, but it could also be a possibility just to meet online and to learn the first steps, how to do these beautiful things, and perhaps the children can create their own pattern for the farewell events in 2027. And then I've already mentioned it. This is we have what we share also is the story of the Muhlenberg family, and Heinrich Melchior Mühlenberg, so what we are calling him, was sent in the 1730s to North America as a Lutheran pastor. And he's also linked here with the history of the Ebenezer and the Salzburger Society. And we had in 2011, we have created a travel exhibition, and we were traveling alongside the east coast of North America. And when I visited Savannah on this nice trolley tour, and very impressive trolley tour on Saturday, I have been in a Lutheran church, and they remembered the exhibition about Mühlenberg and Mühlenberg's family. So I was thinking of this could also be a point to develop our cooperation with the Georgia Salzburger Society in creating, for instance, something like travel exhibitions, and we would show it on different places and all over the world. We can show it also in South India, we can show it in Europe, and it would be very nice and would help us in our network to spread the history of the different parts of all over the world of the Halle network. So the photograph you see below, this is the church in South Poland, in Cieszyn. It's on the border to the Czech Republic, and between Poland and the Czech Republic. And we have attended a special event there. This is a choir singing there, and they are in their traditional clothing, like I've seen today the Salzburgers too. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your attention. I know there is the whole event waiting outside. I hope I could give you another perspective on the work of the Francke Foundations. I know there have been lots of talks about the history of the Francke Foundations from my predecessors, Professor Müller-Barke, when he has been here in the last years. So I wanted to give you some ideas about what we are doing today. And if you would like to share something, if you have an idea, if you would like to add something to what I was presenting here, if you have some question, then feel free to ask me. I will be outside the whole day and enjoying together with you the nice festivities. Thank you very much.